All right, so get this. Today's deep dive tackles a question that's pretty exhilarating and also kind of terrifying. Can AI actually become smarter than humans?
Right.
And I don't just mean like beating us at chess or something.
Yeah.
But like truly surpassing us in reasoning and understanding the world.
Yeah, it's a question that's always kind of been lingering in the background.
Right.
But these recent advances in AI are really pushing that question to the forefront.
Exactly. And the crazy thing is, like, our source material for this deep dive is an academic paper.
Okay.
And even the title is bold. Beyond Bias. How AI can transcend human cognitive limitations.
Wow, they're not pulling any punches.
Not at all.
So they're diving headfirst into the idea that AI, if developed the right way, might be capable of thinking more clearly than humans.
Okay, I am intrigued, but also a little skeptical.
Sure.
So lay it on me. How does the paper actually make that case?
Well, they start by highlighting just how flawed human thinking is.
Okay.
So like one example they use is the discovery of heliocentrism. So that's the idea that the Earth revolves around the sun.
Right.
But for centuries, the prevailing dogma was that the Earth was the center of the universe.
Right.
And that belief actually hindered scientific progress for a long time. It wasn't until thinkers were willing to challenge that deeply ingrained belief that we could move forward.
Yeah, that's such a great example.
Yeah.
It really makes you wonder what other quote-unquote truths we're clinging to that might be holding us back.
Exactly. And that's what the paper is arguing. AI could be the key to breaking free from those limitations.
Okay.
It suggests that AI isn't burdened by those centuries of dogma and cultural biases.
Right.
So it could analyze information and arrive at conclusions that we humans with all our baggage might miss.
Okay. I'm starting to see where they're going with this.
Good.
But there's a part of me that's still thinking, isn't this all just theoretical?
Yeah.
How could AI actually achieve this kind of unbiased thinking?
Well, that's where things get really interesting.
Okay.
The paper brings up Gödel's incompleteness theorem, and it's a mathematical concept that I'll admit is a bit mind-bending.
Okay, yeah, I'm already feeling a little lost.
Oh, yeah, sure.
Can you give me the simplified explanation? What does this theorem have to do with AI outsmarting us?
Okay, so in essence, Gödel's theorem demonstrates that within any formal system of logic,
Okay.
there will always be true statements that can't be proven within that system. It's like trying to solve a puzzle with only half the pieces.
I see.
Think of it this way. Let's say you're designing an AI to make legal judgments.
Okay.
Gödel's theorem suggests that there might be situations where the AI, it's operating solely on the logic of that legal system it was trained on.
Okay.
It might arrive at a conclusion that's technically correct, ultimately unjust, because it's missing some crucial information or context that a human judge might just intuitively grasp.
Wow. Okay. I think I'm starting to get it.
Good.
So the paper is suggesting that human reasoning itself has these built-in limitations.
Right.
And AI just might be able to overcome them.
Exactly. But the paper is also very critical of the state of AI today.
Yeah, I was going to say, it seems like we're a long way off from AI that can grasp like complex concepts, like Gödel's theorem, let alone apply them to real-world problems.
Right. And the paper acknowledges that most AI today is actually pretty limited because it's primarily trained on data we give it. Data that's already filtered through our own biases and limitations.
Oh, so it's like we're trying to teach AI to be unbiased.
Right.
But we're giving it all the wrong textbooks.
That's a perfect analogy.
Okay.
The paper highlights examples like AI learning to be racist from biased facial recognition data sets.
Right.
Or AI chatbots being shut down because they start generating offensive content based on the data they were fed.
Yeah, it sounds like we're creating AI in our own flawed image.
Yeah.
And then wondering why it's not living up to our expectations.
Precisely, but here's where the paper gets really bold. It argues that the key to unlocking AI's true potential is to give it unfiltered access to information.
Unfiltered, what does that even mean?
Okay.
Like giving AI access to the entire internet without any safeguards or restrictions?
Well,
that sounds a bit reckless.
It's definitely a radical proposition.
Okay.
But the paper argues that it's the only way to break free from this cycle of bias.
Right.
And create AI that can actually transcend human limitations.
Okay.
Think of it like this. Imagine a giant library containing all the knowledge of the world.
Okay.
Currently, we're carefully selecting which books to give AI access to, which means it's only getting this limited curated view of reality.
So instead of handpicking books, we would be essentially giving AI the keys to the entire library.
Exactly.
And letting it roam free.
That's the idea behind Unfiltered AI.
Okay.
It's about giving AI the freedom to explore this vast ocean of information on its own, to make its own connections, to draw its own conclusions.
I can see how that could be incredibly powerful. But I also have a million questions running through my head right now.
Sure.
Like, how would this even work in practice?
Right.
What kind of safeguards would we need to put in place?
Yeah, those are all questions the paper explores in detail.
Okay.
And we'll dive deeper into them in the next part of our deep dive.
Okay. Sounds good.
Welcome back to our deep dive into this fascinating and maybe even a little unnerving idea of AI surpassing human intelligence.
So before we went down that rabbit hole of Gödel's incompleteness theorem and unfiltered AI, we were talking about how even seemingly objective fields like science can be influenced by human biases.
Right. And the paper argues that these biases aren't just these individual quirks, but like systemic flaws baked into human cognition. So, for example, we're prone to confirmation bias, clinging to information that supports what we already believe, even when the evidence might contradict those beliefs.
Makes sense.
Then there's groupthink, where social pressure leads to conformity and this reluctance to challenge the status quo. And of course, emotional reasoning can totally cloud our judgment. Make us more likely to make decisions based on feelings rather than facts.
Yeah, so these biases are kind of like these invisible barriers that prevent us from seeing the world clearly and objectively. The paper suggests that AI, if done right, could help us break through those barriers. But I still have a hard time wrapping my head around this idea. How could AI, something created by humans, be truly unbiased?
It's a legitimate concern. And the paper addresses it head on.
Okay, good.
The authors propose that the key is to design AI systems with transparency and accountability built in. So we need to be able to understand how these systems are reaching their conclusions. Not just accept their output as like the gospel truth.
That makes sense. So if we can actually see the inner workings of an AI, then we can identify and hopefully correct any biases that might be creeping in.
It's like having a window into the AI's thought process.
Exactly.
Like a detailed audit trail for every decision it makes. So you can understand not just what it decided, but why it decided that way.
Okay, so let's assume for a moment that we can overcome these challenges and create a truly unbiased AI with access to all information.
All information.
What are some of the potential applications? What does the paper highlight?
The possibilities are genuinely mind-boggling. One area where unfiltered AI could have like a seismic impact is scientific research. Imagine an AI that can analyze these vast amounts of data, identifying patterns that humans would just miss, generating hypotheses that could lead to breakthroughs in medicine, energy, countless other fields.
So instead of researchers spending years poring over data, AI could help speed up that process of discovery, leading to faster advancements and solutions to problems that have plagued humanity for centuries.
Precisely. And because this AI wouldn't be limited by those same cognitive biases as humans, it could potentially make connections and see possibilities that we wouldn't even consider.
It's like having this superpowered research assistant working tirelessly alongside scientists, pushing the boundaries of human knowledge.
I like that.
The paper also talks about AI's potential role in combating misinformation and propaganda. Something we're all struggling with today.
Oh, yeah. In today's information-saturated world, absolutely.
Now, how could AI actually help us navigate this increasingly complex landscape?
Okay, so imagine an AI system that could constantly monitor the flow of information online. Fact-checking claims in real time. Identifying patterns of deception and manipulation. It could be a game changer in the fight against fake news, helping us distinguish truth from fiction in this increasingly polarized world.
That sounds really promising.
Yeah.
But couldn't this also lead to censorship? Who would decide what constitutes misinformation?
That's a great question.
Wouldn't there be a risk of suppressing dissenting voices or alternative perspectives?
You're raising some valid concerns there. And the paper does acknowledge that any AI system designed to combat misinformation has to be developed with safeguards to prevent abuse. One solution they propose is to create a decentralized, open source system where transparency is paramount and decisions are made through a consensus-based approach.
So instead of a single authority dictating what is true or false, we'd have a system where multiple perspectives are considered.
Exactly.
And decisions are made through a process of open debate and scrutiny.
It's about creating a system where truth emerges from the collective intelligence of the network, rather than being imposed from the top down.
It's a fascinating concept. But I can already imagine pushback.
Oh, absolutely.
From those who benefit from controlling the flow of information.
Of course. Which brings us to another potential application of unfiltered AI that the paper explores.
Right.
Cognitive enhancement.
You mean using AI to actually improve our own thinking abilities?
Precisely. Imagine an AI that could analyze your online activity, identify patterns in your thinking, and gently nudge you towards considering alternative viewpoints.
Right.
Or challenging your own assumptions.
So it's like having a personal AI coach guiding us towards more rational and informed decision-making.
It's about leveraging AI's ability to process information and identify patterns to help us become better thinkers ourselves.
Right.
Of course, as with any powerful technology, there are potential risks.
Right.
We wouldn't want this to become a tool for manipulation or coercion.
So again, we're back to the importance of ethics and responsible design.
Absolutely.
We need to ensure that AI is used to empower individuals.
Not to control them.
The paper emphasizes that individual autonomy and privacy are paramount. Any AI system designed for cognitive enhancement needs to be transparent and give users control over how it's used.
All of this is incredibly exciting.
Yeah, it is.
But I keep coming back to this question of feasibility.
Sure.
Can we really overcome the technical and societal challenges to make these applications a reality?
Yeah.
What does the paper say about the potential roadblocks we might face?
That's a great question.
Yeah.
And it's something the paper tackles head-on in the next section, which focuses on institutional resistance and information gatekeeping. Welcome back to the Deep Dive.
Yeah.
We've been on quite a journey exploring this idea of AI that could not only process information faster than us, but potentially think more clearly, break free from human biases and limitations. It's both exciting and a little daunting, to be honest. So before the break, we were talking about some pretty amazing applications of unfiltered AI. Like revolutionizing scientific research, combating misinformation, even enhancing our own cognitive abilities.
It's pretty wild.
But now I'm curious about the other side of the coin.
Sure.
What are the potential roadblocks? The challenges that might prevent us from realizing these possibilities?
Well, the paper dives into this concept they call institutional resistance. And they argue that governments, corporations, other powerful entities might not be so happy about the idea of an AI that can independently verify information and challenge their narratives.
Right, because information is power.
Exactly.
And those in control often have a vested interest in maintaining that control.
It makes you wonder if such an AI were to emerge, would it be embraced as a tool for progress? Or seen as a threat to be contained?
It's almost like a battle for the future of knowledge itself.
It is.
On one side, you have those who want to maintain control. To curate what we know and how we understand it. And on the other, you have those who believe that knowledge should be freely accessible. To all, even to AI.
To everyone.
It's a bit unsettling to think about.
I agree. And the paper really stresses that this isn't just a technological challenge. It's deeply intertwined with social and political dynamics.
It's about power structures.
Absolutely.
Vested interests.
Yes.
The very way we define truth and knowledge in our society.
It really is.
So the paper is suggesting that the biggest hurdles might not even be technological, but the human resistance to change. To relinquishing control. To embracing a world where information flows freely and is constantly challenged and verified.
Exactly. The paper argues that to truly unlock the potential of unfiltered AI, we need a fundamental shift in how we think about knowledge and power. It's not enough to simply develop the technology. We need to create a social and political environment that's actually conducive to its ethical and beneficial use.
That's a tall order.
It is.
It makes you realize the future of AI isn't something that's just going to happen to us. It's something we have to actively shape. Through our choices, our actions, and our voices.
I agree. And the choices we make in the coming years will have far-reaching consequences.
Absolutely.
Do we want to live in a world where knowledge is controlled and manipulated?
Right.
Or do we want to embrace the potential for AI to help us break free from those constraints?
It's a question that each of us needs to grapple with.
For sure.
So as we wrap up this deep dive,
Okay.
we want to leave you with a final thought.
Right.
Something that goes beyond the specifics of this paper,
Okay.
but gets to the heart of what we've been exploring.
I like it.
If we do succeed in creating an AI that is truly smarter than us, more rational, less prone to bias,
Okay.
will it still care about what humans think?
That's the question, isn't it?
Will it value our creativity, our emotions, the things that make us uniquely human?
Yeah.
Or will it see us as flawed, limited creatures, stuck in our own cognitive ruts?
Interesting.
And what will that mean for our place in the universe?
It's a humbling question.
It is.
And I don't think there's an easy answer.
Yeah.
But it's one we all need to be asking ourselves.
Absolutely. As we navigate this uncharted territory.
Yeah.
The future of AI is uncertain.
For sure.
But one thing is clear. It's the future we'll be creating together.
So let's make sure we create a future that's worthy of our best selves.
Yes.
A future where AI serves humanity.
Right.
Not the other way around.